All right, let's just jump right into this explainer. Think about this for a second. How exactly do the totally chaotic physical movements of logistics automatically translate into a flawless financial settlement, all without a single person having to manually re-enter the data? I mean, moving a 40-foot steel box across the globe involves dozens of people, unpredictable delays, and so many physical handoffs. And yet somehow, the data aligns perfectly at the very end to make sure absolutely everyone gets paid.
Well, the secret sauce here is a database philosophy known as the single source of truth. Basically, it means that every single data element is entered into the system exactly once. And when you establish a true single source of truth, any real-time updates from the field just ripple seamlessly across all your subsequent operational and financial systems. It completely eliminates double entry, it erases human error, and it creates this beautifully unbroken chain of logic.
So today, we're tracking the ultimate main character of this whole system, a single shipping container. We're going to follow its life from its literal birth as a digital delivery order all the way through to its final transformation into an automated invoice.
We're taking this step by step through 5 key stages: order entry and planning, the waiting list gateway, the dispatch war room, executing the physical journey, and finally, return and final settlement.
All right, kicking things off with stage 1, order entry and planning. Basically, the birth of our container's digital DNA.
Now, at this master detail level, this is where external orders actually come to life in the system. It's where messy outside identifiers, things like the master bill of lading or the vessel name, collide with the strict, organized internal logic of the database. This is literally where the outside world makes its very first digital footprint.
This is a great example of how raw external text gets instantly snapped to internal static master codes. So a manually typed-in delivery location perfectly matches an internal location code, or a typed customer name instantly locks onto a master customer ID. And why does this matter? Because it ensures that no one ever has to manually type out those customer or location details again as this container moves down the line. It sets the absolute foundation for our single source of truth.
Moving right along to stage 2, the waiting list gateway, or as I like to call it, the holding room. This gateway acts literally like a strict traffic light. See, our container might be totally ready digitally, but if it's not physically ready to roll, it's not going anywhere. This acts as a central control queue, holding back the chaos and actively preventing dispatchers from sending drivers out to pick up cargo that just isn't there yet.
So how exactly do we get that green light? Well, we need 3 critical things to line up perfectly: customs clearance, the freight release, and arguably the most important one, the disk, or discharge status. Once that disk box gets checked, which literally just means the container has been physically lifted off the ship and placed onto the terminal, it triggers the container to automatically dequeue from this holding room. Boom, it pushes straight into active dispatch. Next up is stage 3, the dispatch war room. This is where strategy really meets execution. Welcome to the container dispatch war room. It is incredibly dynamic in here. This is the exact moment where the container's big picture journey gets chopped up into individual assignable physical legs. And because this environment only shows freight that passed that green light from the waiting room, dispatchers aren't pulling their hair out over paperwork holdups anymore. They are looking purely at actionable, ready-to-move freight. Watch how this routing engine automatically categorizes our container entirely based on its real-world physical state. If it's just sitting around waiting for a port pickup appointment, it hangs out in the terminal bucket. But the second it hits the company yard and is ready for the actual customer delivery, it dynamically shifts right over to delivery. It completely guides the workflow without a single person needing to manually resort anything. I love this quote because it really hits the nail on the head. This one master to end job split-leg database architecture, it is an absolute masterpiece of logistics tracking. Think about it. One single container might need an active port pickup driver, a temporary hold at the yard, and then a totally different local driver for the final delivery. The system flawlessly splits that physical job into multiple legs, all while keeping the overarching financial data bolted securely to the master file. All right, stage 4, executing the physical journey. It's time to hit the road. Now we're in truck dispatch, and notice how the whole perspective completely flips. We aren't just looking at containers anymore. We're zooming in on specific drivers and trucks. Those split jobs we were just talking about, they nest perfectly under a specific driver's daily manifest. It pushes the instructions straight to their mobile app and tracks their progress in real time.
This stage also tackles the notoriously massive headache of the empty return process, and it does it using a really clever drop-and-hook logic. Here's the timeline. The full container gets dropped off at the customer. Once they unload it, a single database value in the live drop column flips to empty. You guessed it, empty. Instantly, an alert triggers the dispatcher, pushing the container right back into their view so they can send someone to retrieve the empty box. It's basically a genius alarm system built entirely on status updates.
And that brings us to our final stop. Stage 5, return and final settlement, the digital reincarnation.
So the empty container makes it back safely, and poof, it vanishes from the dispatch board. But it's not gone for good. It actually reincarnates right here as a final invoice status. All those chaotic, complex physical movements are stripped away, leaving absolutely nothing but the pristine financial data that your accounting team actually cares about.
And because we fiercely protected that single source of truth all the way back in step 1, completing the physical journey automatically fills up 3 perfect financial buckets. First, accounts receivable. That's your revenue, generated automatically based on your master rate charts. Second, accounts payable roll-up. That's the driver's pay, instantly calculated from their miles and specific rates. And third, accessory charges, stuff like terminal fees or chassis usage, complete with the proof of delivery documents seamlessly attached straight from the driver's mobile app.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought to chew on. When your container's physical journey finally ends, shouldn't that be the exact moment your data starts working its absolute hardest for your bottom line? The sheer beauty of a true single source of truth system is that the physical sweat and chaos of moving freight is automatically transformed into pure financial clarity. Thanks for joining me on this container's incredible digital journey. Keep learning and keep asking the right questions.